Welcome back to another episode of the Relationship School podcast. I'm your host, Jayson Gaddis.
Here with Ellen Bader.
My lovely wife.
Your hands are so cold.
I know. They're usually warm.
Oh my God.
And yours are usually cold.
I know, mine are warm. Something's wrong.
In this episode, we have one of our students ask us a question that I think is a really good one. Because I sometimes make the assumption that people know what I'm talking about when I say 100% committed or you're all in a relationship. You know, sometimes
be all in.
Be all in. Sometimes partners say, well, my partner's not 100% in. Or someone might say about themselves, I'm not 100% committed.
Or I didn't realize my partner wasn't all in or totally committed.
Yeah. So what in the hell does this all in mean? We're going to play this question, and then Ellen and I will attempt to answer it.
Hey, Jayson. I've been thinking a lot about my question about what it means to be all in, and I think reading that New Yorker article actually really helped me crystallize it. It talks about like the free climber. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Free Solo. Alex Honnold.
Great movie.
You know, climbs these massive rock faces with no ropes, and the article was sort of saying like that is all in a way that is undeniable, because he cannot take it back. Like once he starts, he's got to do it or he dies. So there is no question that is all in. And like playing a poker hand, when you go all in, you can't take that back. Like you put it all on the table and you either win or you don't win in that instance. And then you go home with the pot or you go home with nothing. So that is also unquestionably all in my mind. And I think the all in relationship is like, what does it really mean to be all in if it can be walked back, if you can change your mind, if you can take it back and turn around and say, yeah, no, not all in anymore. And I wonder if it's around, why it seems so clear to you what all in means is because you operate within relationships where you have agreements. And maybe in the agreements, what the meaning is of all in is defined. But that's really the question centers around the ability to walk it back. Like, what does it really mean to be all in if it can be taken away? As a person who was in a marriage for 17 years where the other person said, you know what, I'm done, I'm with someone else now, and I'm not interested in working on it, you know, that still sort of sits with me and informs my view of what an all-in commitment means to some people in a relationship. So I hope that's clear. That's what I've got for today.
All right.
Oh, a lot in there. I love when people are like really trying to understand and chewing on the things they're learning or hearing, and what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean for me? What does this mean in my life? Like, please do that. Please just continue to do that.
I know. Because then you find the answer, you know, when you're really committed to the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to take maybe by now you've answered it yourself, but we thought this would be valuable for other people to hear our response here.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to start? Or do you want me to?
Let's have you start.
Okay. Well, my first curiosity goes to the commitment your partner made, or ex-partner, I guess. There wasn't a clear, like you were pointing out, there wasn't maybe a clear understanding of what that meant. Or I think people make commitments in marriage and they actually don't include a commitment to tell the truth, a commitment to work through conflict and repair effectively, a commitment to stay in it, a commitment to when I have doubts, I'm going to bring it up. You know, I'm going to actually be transparent when I am having fears here and I'm wanting out of the relationship. I'm going to talk to you about it. You know, that's sort of my version of all in. And it sounds like the relationship you were in had a different version of all in. Like it just a standard, oh, you get married and that just automatically means you're never going anywhere. But nowhere in there is an agreement that, like you were saying, that we'll just talk openly and work through conflict and we'll do all this other stuff.
All the things that
would actually help the security of that relationship over time.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you're bringing up there about I think with marriage in our society, a lot of people will just be like, well, we're married, so we don't need to think about how to take care of each other in an ongoing way and help each other feel safe and known and understood and have values, principles, agreements in our relationship that support us feeling known, understood, that we're both having the relationship we want to have, that we're moving towards the same thing in our relationship. Like we want the same kind of relationship over the long haul. Like there's a lot that people don't ever unpack around how to be with someone over the course of a life where so much is changing and pushing and pulling on you as individuals.
Right.
And so there's a lot that needs to be talked about and shared, and agreements around how to, like, that we bring our issues about the relationship to each other first. We go right to each other if we have a concern or issue with something in the relationship, and we have a process for handling concerns with each other and the relationship. And so security's built that way. And I think that's what all in means. It means we aren't, when things get hard, when someone gets angry, if I feel upset with you, Jayson, like I'm not now deciding if I'm all in anymore. Right? Like I'm committed to not just letting my feelings or emotions in the moment have any impact on the strength and security of our relationship. Yeah. And I say that because sometimes people actually there are issues in the relationship that make you upset that could be a deal breaker.
Totally.
You have to deal with those. But if I'm just annoyed that Jayson forgot about something that I told him that I think he should have remembered, I'm not going to now be distant and cut off from you to punish you, or whatever those things are that start to erode that sense of we're collaborators, we get back on track quickly, and we want to move forward together and feel better together.
Yeah, so I think the issue isn't all in, that kind of commitment. I think the issue here is marriage and how people define marriage and long-term commitment. Because I think most of us do understand all in terms of the examples you offered, like playing poker or Alex Honnold in Free Solo.
Amazing. Yeah.
Becoming a parent for me, I'm just all in.
Right.
There's just no part of me that questions
with our kids
that, right?
For the long haul.
I'm all in when I made a commitment to you. I'm all in. And I think I've demonstrated that
completely
over and over for 14 years. And likewise, you have with me.
Good.
Yeah. But, I think the two of you, it sounds to me like, got a little lazy or something around what marriage meant to you. And this is most people. You're normal here. And, feel free to push back if I'm a little judgy there. But I think most people get lazy in their commitment to marriage because, like you're pointing out, anyone can walk out of marriage. Anyone can back that up and just say, you know what, just kidding. This is too hard. Or I don't like you anymore. Or I'm more attracted to this other person. Like anyone can do that. That's why the divorce rate is what it is. People can bail all the time.
It's part of it.
Yeah, and I think we should have that freedom. But when you make a commitment to another person, what we're suggesting here is all in is a much deeper, more robust kind of marriage.
Right. It's a way of being and practicing day in and day out skills and attitudes and behaviors that support the real longevity.
Yeah.
Like I could be all in with my kids just because they're mine. But I don't think that's how it works. My version of all in as a parent is like, no, every day I'm showing up and I'm cultivating a good relationship with them and I'm helping them learn how to be a human being in the world. And we're doing all these things that, translate into being committed to that relationship.
Yeah, and even when you say even parents can make the commitment, I'm all in as a parent, but I'm actually not all there.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Totally.
I love being a mom or I love being a dad, but I'm on my phone all the time or I'm at work all the time or I'm actually kind of absent.
Right. Or I'm kind of resenting this, or it's feeling more challenging than satisfying. I don't know how to make it what I want.
Yeah.
I think that happens in marriage too. We are like, oh, this is marriage, huh?
Yeah.
Versus, oh, what do we want this marriage to be like? What do we want our relationship to be like? What could I get on board with and be all in about?
Yeah. Yeah. Like a good example, this is from pop culture, is I can't remember if you saw the movie, but Matthew McConaughey, he travels to outer space.
No, I never saw this.
And he makes this commitment to his daughter when she's like 10 or whatever. Like, he gets this amazing opportunity to go fly, into outer space, which has like been his dream since he was a kid or something. And so he makes a commitment to her. I'll be back. And then he doesn't come back. It's just so crushing. And he's all in on his commitment to his daughter, right? But he's more all in his commitment to outer space, being an astronaut basically, and exploring the outer regions because he's like the only guy that can do it, supposedly. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, he completely abandons his daughter. It's like such a devastating movie. I was so excited to see that movie, and then I walked out of there feeling just like I wanted to throw up.
Oh, God.
Because it was just so tragic. But I think us parents, for those that are listening, that are parents, like, you want to, a lot of us say, yeah, I'm committed. I'm here. But some life circumstance might actually take you away.
Right.
So there's all these other variables.
Yeah, and marriage is different because it's a choice to be family, whereas with our kids,
it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, it's a choice to have kids.
It's a choice to have kids.
But once you have them,
they're your family.
That's family
forever. And with partners, we're choosing them, and we want to be choosing how our relationship actually functions and works. And I think on some level, like, I can remember Stan talking about this in trainings about couples. Like, would you trust your partner with your life? And I would trust you with my life.
Yeah.
And
completely.
And that's the kind of all in, I think, that we want with each other.
Yeah.
That we feel like
yeah.
that level of yes.
Yeah, like Alex Honnold, right? He's trusting himself. Like, in a climbing example, you're trusting your climbing partner on the other end of the rope with your life in a similar way. Mm-hmm. There's a real deep trust there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, again, people that are married for 2 decades, somewhere one or both people start to fall asleep a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they naively assume, hey, we made a commitment 10, 20 years ago that we're all in. Like, why? What do you mean you're leaving?
Assuming, hey, if you have an issue with me or the relationship, you'll just come tell me, versus being really proactive and, just actually overtly agreeing to these things and practicing that kind of communication.
Because what we know of human beings, studying them now for so long, is people don't do that. They're actually not that reliable in their commitments. So that's why a partnership takes work. It takes a lot of effort to constantly be talking about, how are we?
Yeah.
How are you? What's going on here? I'm feeling off. Something doesn't feel great. Mm-hmm. And that there's room for that level of, it's like a basketball team. Like, you wouldn't like just keep your truth inside. You'd call your other players out who weren't playing hard. You'd be like, wait, I don't feel you in the game here. Do you need to retire? Like, are you not interested in basketball anymore?
You would definitely
I would do that. No.
Yeah.
Or someone would call me out because I don't love basketball that much.
Right.
Yeah. So all in, I think, is how you define it. Mm-hmm. And I think we're encouraging here, what I'm getting from our conversation here is we're encouraging you to define what a commitment means. Don't just assume because you got married that the other person's now supposed to be your life partner forever. Mm-hmm. No, people back out of that all the time.
Yeah. And what's it going to take for both of us to be all in for the long haul?
Each year, re-upping our commitment.
Yeah.
Every year, I'm all in. I'm still all in. I'm 100% in. We review our vows.
Yeah, that helps.
We have kind of meetings once a year or so where it's like, how are we? Like, what are our goals? What's going on here?
Yeah, we do all kinds of things, and the day-to-day, day in, day out is super important to me.
Super important. Yeah, not to wait.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll just not bring this up until our annual goal meeting. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Elise, for your question.
Yeah. Great question. Love the question.
I think it's going to help some people. So if you got some value out of this episode here, just let us know, because this was fun, and I'm sure you have other questions. Yeah.
Bring them.
Yeah, bring them. And I'd say your action step today is to, I think it's pretty obvious, like if you're partnered, have a conversation with your partner about all in. Are we all in? Am I all in? Are you all in? What's going on here? And it could create a fight. Yes, it could create conflict, but better than avoiding and then having the person cheat on you years later or something. And if you're single, I'd feel into what all in means to you. And are you making all in commitments elsewhere in your life and having ongoing conversations about your commitment?
Yeah, and think about the things you feel all in with, and what has that required for you, and what have the practices been to keep those commitments.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, the world is kind of hurting out there relationally, don't you think? If you want to get help with the stress you're dealing with right now, and you want to learn how to get back to a good place with the people in your life so that you can tackle all that you're facing, I recommend you come to a free class we're offering, okay? It's every Tuesday for 4 weeks at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. 3 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. And you can go to relationshipschool.com/training to get the goods, all right? And the class is called Relationship Repair. We want to help you repair any mess ups in your relational life. And also, I think it's just going to be good for you to be in community and to be around other people. There's still so much going on in the world. And I want you to come, okay? relationshipschool.com/training. And if you don't know how to get to zero, get back to a good place with the people you care most about, this class is for you, because I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share one of these videos with a friend. We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships, and you are one of them, so thank you.